Well, hello! You're most welcome back to Gmodism, and this is your host Eric, and yesterday, I guess it is now, we got a little interesting YouTube video uploaded by that Hitman, who pitched the Gimle versus the Honored Baguette. So, I thought to download it. And if you don't know who that Hitman is, it is a video creator who has uploaded some pretty interesting videos where he tests some pretty insane weapon designs, which are very fun. So you should definitely see that. Like this, for example. Where is the baguette? Oh yeah. We're just casually holding the baguette here with the tractor beam of the Mark II of the platform. It's kind of funny. It's possible. But he basically made a video where he tested a lot of hull designs to find the ones that were most effective. And then he came to the conclusion that a super long canoe type of build, border-wise is probably very pleased, is the best design shape then. Now, I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's super cool to see a ship that's just taking this to its extreme. And so it was tested against the Gimle, and it was spawned on the Gimle's weak side. That it didn't know that the Gimle has a strong and a weak side. So it managed to win. Now, however, after testing again, he didn't show that in the video, unfortunately, but he said on screen, or wrote right on screen, that if you spawn the Gimle on its strong side, it wins. However, in my tournament rules, and some other tournament rules as well, a lot of them, like one of the most well-known tournament organizer, Menti, does this as well, spawn ships nose to nose. And there are a lot of reasons for that, and that's in previous Gimle videos. So if you want to check out and understand why, I explain it a lot of times, so I shouldn't be doing it again. But any case, I was wondering, will the Baguette win or lose against the Gimle if we stick it into the Gimle tournament with the Gimle tournament rules? So that's what we're going to check out today. But we are also going to check out this ship a little bit, because it's very fun. Now, the Baguette doesn't meet the official rules of the Gimle, because I do believe it has water pumps here and there. So we may cause some stutters. We're obviously going to start this... wow, that's a beautiful interiors. Well, we're obviously going to start this ship with like the minimal rules possible. What am I saying? Minimal game settings possible, because otherwise it will have a problem. That's some really nice interiors. This ship is on the workshop too. Oh, about the workshop. Thanks a lot for everyone, 25 of you, who rated the platform Mark II. Because now it's actually rated, which is pretty cool. So thanks a lot for that. However, one person gave it a really bad rating. So even though it has 96 point, what was it? 96 point, anyways, 24 out of 25 gave it a very good rating. But in any case, because we have one negative review or rating, it only has 3 stars. Will you fix my platform's rating for me? Go rate it. Also rate this Baguette, of course. I think it needs some cool ratings too. So, during the video that Hitman just made, the Baguette is then upgraded. So this version of the Baguette costs 2.4 million. So I'm going to look through the Baguette here a little bit and basically say what I think about its design philosophies. I will say though, it is very nicely put together. It looks really cool. Especially because it's also kind of a little bit of a meme build. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, I think we should begin with not dissecting. We're just gonna divide it a little bit left to right here. See what's inside it. I guess we'll begin from the start of the baguette and see what it contains for filling. It's so nice you can walk this entire ship here. There we can see some water pumps. They'll cause some stutters. Cool use of these computer panels to get them in angles like this. I never thought of that. We got boilers straight under the turrets. It's not very optimal because if you do that, if you have it like this, when they get destroyed, they will cause a fire directly under. Let's see here. I just want to have a 1. Okay, so we can see like. So here we have a weapon controller computer directly under the turret block. It doesn't have any EMP protection, however, so if a turret gets shot, it will go straight down through the turret block and kill this. So that's not very good. I would definitely not put the turret block on a weapon controller because the weapon controller have very low health points. So it's always better to have them stand on a block of heavy armor or something like that, or preferably 4 meters of heavy armor. Then also, for an expensive system like this, we don't really need to save the costs here, I feel like. It's a railgun after all, so probably use the all-in-one local weapon controller to save some space. I usually have them on the turret, however, because then it's easier to EMP insulate them. I would definitely surround them with rubber to all its connecting sides to mitigate that issue. Yeah, definitely. Let's see what settings we have here. We don't have any range bracket setting here. Would probably be, I usually like to set them up, like if I can't shoot at things that are below 500 meters or whatever, under say, yeah. If I can't shoot at underwater target, I shouldn't be able to target underwater targets. And same with, if you can't shoot like on very high, but usually you can. That's not usually a problem. Range bracket, however, it depends how far the guns reach. It's good to not have them waste ammunitions needlessly. All right. Then we are, also one thing, that Hitman has some other settings for his game than the default settings. So one thing you can do if you have the computing power to do so, and the want to have more than 500 APS projectiles simultaneously in the air, you can up this amount a little bit, or a good bit, so you can have some really high RPM guns if you want to. I keep my settings at default, however, because I feel that's what most people do. Otherwise, I'll need to declare my settings all the time when posting challenges and tournaments and stuff. Oh, and if you want to get into our challenges and tournaments and stuff, you should join our Discord. If you want to be in all of them, you'll need to enlist in the army of Gmodism if you don't happen to be a commissioned officer, of course, because then you'll have access automatically. Which reminds me, huge thanks to our commissioned officers in the army of Gmodism. Your monthly help helps a lot. Commodore Owen, Captain Shiro, Commander Morden, Lieutenant Anto, Cravey, Drew Candobetta, Flaws Dagon, Part by Greed, Vincent Veritas, Rick Broel, and Scuba Rocks. And of course all our cadets and all of the members of the Ecclesiarchy of Gmodism at YouTube memberships. And you're of course supporting me on Patreon. And thanks to that Hitman also for shouting out my Patreon during your last video. That's very kind of you. Yeah, that's a first. Anyways, we should, or no, actually not. Borderwise and I sometimes recommend each other's Patreon too. So if you want to support another from the Death creator that has a Patreon, Borderwise has one too. In any case, and that Hitman might get one. Or I don't remember what you said, but if you did, yeah, well, whatever. If it exists, it exists. In any case, we should be continuing to look through here. Oh, all right. This is, we have an EMP, pretty EMP susceptible AI here. Like, Like even these little tiny sheets of metal will lead at EMP. And oh damn, and this thing, this little detection tower right up here, if that gets shot by an EMP, it will essentially insta-kill this AI here in the middle. Of course, there are several AIs along the way here, so it's not like an insta-kill or anything like that. But I would really implore to use some type of EMP insulation. I have an EMP insulation or explanation video. I would recommend anyone who is watching this and don't know about it, that Hitman included, to maybe check that out and get some good tips to not get EMP killed in the future. We have EMP susceptibility issues all over the place here. Oh, this looks very nice. I never seen someone do something like this with the railgun parts. I like these turrets. I think they look very cool. I think they may be a little bit unarmored, however, which I would not recommend. Can be a good idea to have them armored with something. All right, what do we have here? We have hollow points. Oh, hollow points at 60 millimeter. Okay, that's unusual. And we only have hollow points on it. Yeah, I would definitely not use hollow points at this low gauge. I would definitely use sabot for this. Definitely sabot. Yeah, sabot heads with some kinetic warheads. That's definitely what I would suggest here. Actually, I'm gonna save a version with sabot, and you can test my theory if it's right or not. All right, so if we look inside of here, they are these belt feds? Yeah, that's belt feds. Well, then we can't have emergency ejection defuses or ejectors anyways. So that's all good. But because we don't have that, I would highly suggest having a little bit of heavy armor, not around the entire turret, but definitely at the front of the turret. Like I usually armor my turrets so that the front kind of has a shield of heavy armor so they don't get hit as much. Because of course the turret will be faced at the enemy, so you don't need to armor the back, or you don't need to armor it that much. All right. Here we have a little interesting thing too. We got a turret right below, right above a big ammo magazine. That is probably, like honestly, it would be better if you put the ammo like beneath the ship like this. That would be a better placement, because here they will take out this turret, and this little metal shield around it doesn't help very much. I don't think so. Okay, and then we kind of have the same area repeating. I wonder if they all send on the same... we have on different channels there. So I wonder in that case if the turrets are receiving on different... Yeah. Now, what can be a good idea is to actually have a AI that is set up to transmit on channel 1 that has high priority. And then you have an extra auxiliary AI that also sends on the same channel, but with a lower priority. Then you can basically have a failsafe, so all of them have basically a connection to an AI. And if the AI cores are the same, that's even better. The only thing that's better with having this is that you can target essentially 9 different places at once, which can be good for kinetic APS, absolutely. Especially sabots. But I do feel that it's probably better to have them all connected up to a double system like I explained, because if this is taken out, some of the turrets won't work anymore. But if this one controlled every one of them and there is another one that also does that and has the same settings, well, it doesn't matter that much. All right, also, you can see we have some detection here, and it's receiving on channel 4. Yeah, so they're set up to be channel specific. And the matter of fact is that in from the depth, detection is shared all over the different channels. So you can have all detection on channel 1 and yeah, it's gonna be shared. So that's nothing one need to think about that much. Unless you set them up to ignore detection. You can do that like a little bit. You can like filter stuff here. If you go to you can see we can detail components. So here we have some different like stuff, and then we can go down to a local weapon controller here, and we can then filter detection to perhaps only sonar. You can do that. If you have a underwater gun that shoots at submarines only, it can be good to only have it target via sonar, since it, like, what's it gonna do with, like, I don't know, infrared seekers don't work in the water, so what is it gonna do with that? So that can be a one thing to set up here. Yeah, so it has the same shape repeating. I will say this too, under here you have some lead. That's of course good for stability. So that's all fine, but most big ships use powered stability. For good and bad, of course it costs engine power, but just so you know, this weight will make you slower. Here we have some metal too, and lead is as heavy armor. If you want to know more about that, I have a little armor tutorial as well. In any case, we are having, what is this? Okay, here we have a big ammo storage. I would definitely spread that out a little more, I think. And, it looks really nice, the interior here. I really like that. And we have some spotlights too. Before I start the battle, I will, however, save a little personal version of this that has the lights turned off, so it will lag a little bit less. All right then, and that's it. So here we have a extra AI with, okay. And this thing, man, look at it, it's so close. If this just was, if you just had like a rubber here on the connection points, this would be EMP insulated and good to go. All right, here we can see the gear ratio. Like, this is a serial piston. And this is definitely steam tank. Cool. Well, I don't find much use for them, but they can be used. That's nice. Got some repair bots here. Oh, is this a breadboard? Okay, what do we have in here then? Right tram percentage. Spin block. All right, so we activate some spin blocks using this. This is probably the Azipods, right? Anyway, here in any case, you can see that this thing is set to automatic control. That's something Martincitopants did too, which will be in the next version, or a video I mean, in the series. Any case, this should be set to forward, this should be manual, so it doesn't try to do some other things. And if you want the max propulsion, I would definitely go inside of the gearbox here. You can see maximum power creation. Turn that down to like 0, have other engines generate power, and have this only be propulsion forward. And this gear ratio can be set to 2, so we double the RPM, and that will basically give us a potential thrust of 180,000, which this engine will definitely be able to reach. As you can see, we are definitely having enough, and that will basically double the thrust this engine provides, which would be a good idea. All right, then we have these little Azipods here, and yeah, and they are with a bit higher. They have that gearbox setting set up well, so that's nice. All right then. Then I will basically, oh no, wait a second. I want to give everyone a little top view of the Baguette, so you can see here how it looks from the top down like this. Oh, And these sections are color-coded. I like that so much. That's so cool. So it's like, yeah, I only work in section yellow, so I can't go to section blue. Oh no, I only work in section purple. This is my spot. Yeah, I don't know. I just like this thing for being so walkable and roleplay friendly like this. You could actually walk around on. It has so cool interiors. I like that so much. That's super cool. I do, however, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. This is so darn well decorated and beautiful, because this is essentially a try to make a min-maxed optimal design. And most people who make optimal min-maxed designs, sorry to say, but they kind of make ugly bricks. It's like squares with like some big mimics on top to make them almost look okay. And that's a little bit boring. So I really appreciate the effort that has been placed in detailing, even though this is supposed to be a min-max optimal design as the Honored Baguette. Well, then I think we should definitely circle some views here. So I want to see like the important components too. This one, so we remove all the hull blocks. Can be pretty funny here. Yeah, this looks so cool. And it's really funny, we have hydrofoils here in the front. I guess they're set up to yaw, yeah, of course. So we have some faster turning rates here. That's nice. I would, however, say that you should probably try and see if you get any luck with azipods in the front. I know it looks stupid, but if you want some faster turning rate, azipods in the front would be nice. If the Gimle didn't have that, it wouldn't stand a chance against most ships trying to flank it. And now it kind of stands a chance against some ships that try to flank it. That's the difference. So, and for all of you who want to see some stats, here it is. 2.425 million materials, 50,000 blocks. We have 16% armor, which is super low, by the way. We have a total firepower of 3,000, which APS make out all of. And I think it also has some type of potential to switch to active defenses. I saw that in the video. I don't know if it made it to the final like setup, because this is a local weapon controller. And what we would have needed then is a secondary Civs controller set up with a lower priority, so it only activates, or with like very narrow range. Yeah, well, whatever. I don't think I see that. I'll guess we'll note this if it's somewhere. Always, we need to look through the beautiful interiors of this thing. So here we have kind of the mess hall that all ship personnel may or may not be able to enter. I like these interiors. Oh well, in any case, I didn't change anything, did I, on this one? No, this is a new spawn, good. So I'm just going to go into my prefab and select the big off switch, because that will turn off everything basically. There it is, select the big off switch. So if there are any video projectors on this thing or anything like that that might cause some lag, it will turn it off. Like, I don't want to destroy the design here. I'm just going to... Oh my god, how many repair bots does this thing have? Are we guilty of repair bot spam here, sir? I guess we'll see. What's this then? Hologram projectors. Yeah, that doesn't. Sound, video screens, lights off, no smoke. Good. Then it should lag a little bit less. Should do like this too, extra configuration. Turn off particles for all of them. All right, I'm gonna resave this. And then we're going to fix this shell here a little bit. So we're just gonna switch this to a sabot head. Whoops, did I mess something up? Sabot head. I need to check if I didn't mess something up. So they are now 60, That means the shell length with the casing is 1,200 like that. Clip length required 2. Oh, I did mess something up. I did. Oh no, I didn't mess something up. It's of course, I thought it was 60 millimeters. I don't know why I thought that. I must have read this number instead. But it's 48. So it's tuned to fit exactly. Yeah. If you, by the way, want to have fill in 100% of stuff, you can always like change the amount of propellants in one of them, and you can make them absolutely perfectly fit. But this is a 20 module part, so of course we can't. But if we're gonna change this a little bit, actually, if we're gonna have this version, now we can see if we have this at 9. Oh, we can actually, what if we have the 52? I don't know, it might not be perfect now when I'm tuning stuff. It's just for fun, of course. This is not... there, look at it. That's properly min-maxed. But of course, this only applies for this gun, and this shell is for every one of them, so that won't work. So we're just gonna keep it as this sabot head, solid warhead body, and the millimeter is of course also, by the way, changed there. All right, I can just do a refill of the APS shells, and there we can see, make sure that everything is as it should be. APS intakes, yeah, sabot head, good. Everything seems to work. So we're gonna save this as sabot version. Nice. To battle. And if you wonder how many repair bots, it has 20 repair bots. So it's a lot, but it's not insane. Now, it's however a good idea to have repair bots, not too many, because it will burn some materials using them, so you might run out of materials when having too many repair bots. In any case, I think we should be getting to battle. By the way, I might show my rules here a little bit, just, I don't know, it might have been some time ago. So they're gonna spawn 3,000 meters apart, and if you wonder why we have this location, it is because the 0-0 location kind of is a weird spot in the map where the kind of terrain just ends, so it looks shit, basically. So that, I don't know why it's default with 0.0 though. Anyways, we're having a maximum altitude of 600, minimum of 30, so submarines, airships are not used in this tournament, except of course some airships are, but they can't go very high. Maximum distance 6,000 meters, so if you try and run away, it's not very good. 1 penalty point per second, so pretty normal there, except this distance thing, because it takes a long time for battleships to turn. Destroy, construct, like default rules here basically. We have a max time of 15 minutes. And that's basically it. Here we have the Gimle class, and we're gonna add the Baguette here and see how it goes. All right, here we are, spawned in. The Gimle and the Baguette, which is, my god, that thing is pretty elongated. All right, so we just unposted a little bit. Man, that's long. That's so long. Now, I forgot to check how the AI of the Baguette was set up. Oh, and here we have the little spy drone. Unfortunately, the Gimle is set up to shoot down drones, if any. So I think it won't survive very long. I think to make this survive, maybe go make it a spacecraft. I turned on the smoothing on the camera here. It feels so weird, like some new camera shenanigans. All right, so let the battle commence. And we're actually having this auto tracking. Oh, this is so cool. The new camera settings, I kind of like them. There are some shenanigans that are not so good with them, but And the laser, of course, the drone is insignificant to use the laser for. But the thing is, when we set it up, we need to make sure that what if the enemy comes with like nukes and stuff? Then it's a good idea. All right. Whoa! Locked onto the wrong shell. The Baguette is lining up for some serious broadside action. Let me just pause real quickly and see what's happening. Inside of here we can see we have a... So this is the issue with having belt feds, of course. If they got shot, they'll go boom often. All right. Bam! Explosions. Another turret is gone. One thing I really wonder, however, is how the... oh man, we're stuttering. See the stutters? This is the water pumps. You've seen a lot of my Gimle battles. You'll know this is not what we usually have. The stutters are the water pumps. That's just a thing, unfortunately, with larger ships. And that's because the calculation of the water pumps kind of goes up exponentially. Oh damn! Looks like we lost power. What happened here? Is this a case of an Arquebalista Invictus shooting in here or something? Oh, broken steam pipe. That's why we usually set up our engines to have as little tubing as possible. Now, I know it breaks some of the roleplay values, so there is that, but you know. In any case, one thing I just want to check out, that is what the Arquebalista Invictus is doing a nice day like this. Alright, we are entering slow motion. This will of course go through anything. The Baguette is really thin. No! What? Was it despawned because it's too many bullets? Okay, alright. Alright. Or did it just shoot through there? Because here is another one, isn't it? That's not the Arquebalista Invictus, that's one of the other ones. Yeah. Unclear exactly what happens, but it can be so that it's too many bullets in the air, so stuff is kind of despawning. That can happen, definitely. The Honored Baguette is at 71% health. Well, I'm wondering perhaps... like this is yeah, I don't think the Baguette in the current state has a good chance to win, but what if we gave it the opportunity to spawn at a closer distance and broadside, as it kinda is set up to work, I suppose, because I think the Baguette's maneuverability, being a long boy, is, or actually a long girl. No ships are boys, all ships are girls. That's how it works. In any ways, it's so long it won't be able to turn very well. So I think it has a very hard maneuverability disadvantage, which is one thing we want to punish with that rules, if we're going to be honest, but it will make it impossible to see any fun action, I think. So we're just gonna have a little rematch with the Baguette, but sideways. Also, I just thought this was a really cool angle. I want to see that a ship reaches the despawn area before we remove them, so that we are certain about the results. And it happens in 3, 2, 1. There it is. The Gimle has officially won. with 99.7%. Damn. That's not too bad. It's very interesting that, yeah, whatever. We're going to test it the sideways and a little bit closer. All right, so here we have the second battle, or we are at an distance of 1,750 meters, and yeah, the Baguette is spawned in 90 degrees instead. So we're gonna see how this works instead then. Getting a little bit of stuttering there. Recon drone is officially out 19 seconds into the battle. And ooh, big explosion. Well, there we had a pretty big explosion. We got the sound of machine guns. Baguette is really working hard here to get some shots in. Let us go over to the Gimle here. And I think it is able to deal a little more damage now, because you can see we're closer. So it doesn't cap the shells that easily this time. Now, there is this thing, however. That also means that the arquebalistas actually reached the target. And they're set to aim underwater. And I think this is actually extra bad for the Baguette because it has a lot of important stuff. Pole armor we have in here. That's not best at anything. There are uses where it can be useful to have pole armor, but I would only recommend it in turrets generally, or if you have to have some type of air gap but are desperate for those extra health points, but don't have the space. Yeah, so here we can see the Arqueballista Invictus shot a boiler. Well, now we moved away there. If it destroyed the boiler in particular, and not only the generators, it probably caused a little fire in there as well. Mortars are completely off. Oh man, and now we respawn sideways like this. I wonder if we're having a collision. It seems that the propulsion of the Baguette isn't dead yet, but I think it will be soon. I don't know if the Baguette has any smoke defenses or shields. I didn't see any in particular, but it may be hidden in the armor and I just didn't notice it. When we were faced with a laser-based design, having shields is good, but smoke is not good, it's like necessary. Also, I highly recommend putting some heavy armor around these turrets, because these turrets are very easily shot down. Here we also see a case of 1 meter necks. You can see this cannon isn't exploded yet, but because it has just 1 meter neck, it's very easy to shoot off. 3x3 neck is a little bit small too, especially on big turrets. It's too little. But 5x5, if you want to have a turret neck, 5x5 works very well. But for most of my turrets, I designed them neckless, thick neck, and a even thicker head. And that works good for me. A lot of people recommend other stuff, so I'll guess you'll have to choose whatever you like. But thick necks look good to me, and they're working pretty well for the Gimle. She is a stronger. Big explosion. By the way, this like smooth mouse, can you just tell me in the comments if you think this is just annoying or if it's like nice. I think it's slightly annoying to control, but I suspect the video output will be smoother and nicer with this. So it would be good to have a feedback, because if you also think it's a bit annoying, it's obviously completely useless to have it enabled. Well, the Baguette did slightly better this time. It's at 94%. The Gimle is at 94%, that is. Last time I think it was a lot higher, maybe? Oh, I already don't remember. But that's because I had a dinner between the battles, so, you know, that happens. Well, the Baguette is at 55%. I will say it still fights valiantly on, but the turrets on the Baguette are obviously very volatile and easy to kill. Probably it would be better with a EED ejector type of setup. So I would probably up a little bit the gauge on those turrets and make some bigger ones. So a similar turret that could be better is probably this one, the Vigoletta Marksman. It's a 67mm shell, shot with really long shells. They are sabot with a little bit of frag, actually. We can zoom in on one of the shells here, find one. And even though sabot and chemical shouldn't be a very good combo, technically it should be pretty terrible. But I've tested this thing side by side with a lot of other things, and it just performs superior to only kinetic. I have no idea why that even is, but you know, results speak for themselves. Anyways, the Honored Baguette is probably not feeling extremely honored right now because it is sinking a little bit. So now we know that the Baguette is slightly better off with sideways spawning, since it has a little bit slow movement. And it certainly were able to deal more damage to the Gimle here when it spawned closer, since it, well, all the shells, all the damage that it could deal actually reached the Gimle, which is nice. Now, they are hollow point, but very small hollow point shells. So, again, I would not recommend having hollow point shells in such a small caliber. At that point, if you'd switched those to heavy heads, it would have been so much better. I believe it would have been so much more useful. Now we're gonna test sabot instead, because I prefer usually sabot for these type of sandblasting setups. But heavy heads can deal more damage technically. So if you're met with a foe that's not strongly armored, using heavy heads instead is the better option. Now, I usually include sabots in those shells, like in the Vigoletta Marksman, just because a lot of people use a lot of heavy armor on their turret. And if they use heavy armor on the turret, and I use one of these, I can set it to aim above water, which this does. So, if perhaps you do know about Hitman, but you don't, this is your first time on the Gmodism channel, I'll tell you that the Gimle combines the Vigoletta shells, the marksman shells, with the laser. So the laser is basically burning and lowering the HP and armor class on an area, and then the Vigoletta shells are coming in there. This is another little small cannon I have. One is Hesh, this one is shield disruptors. So they come in a little pair to basically kill shields. That's the purpose of it. It's pretty funny. This thing lowers the shield stats a little bit, and they come in constantly. And this thing can detonate Hesh behind the first layer of armor, and that's where people usually have their smoke and shield projectors. So I don't know exactly how effective it is in practice, but in theory, this should be a very nice setup. Now, the gauge on these are a little small though, so they have limited Yeah, but they shoot pretty fast. I don't know. I just wanted to mention that. Let's spawn my Honored Baguette Sabot variant that I just saved a little bit quickly with the same preferred little setup here. So we can just see if it performs any better than the Hollow Pint one. I do think it will perform better, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong. So let's test. Baguette action is back. Now we shall be seeing whatever happens. Oh damn, we got some big cramps coming in here straight from the start. I do think that we should probably be checking out what's happening here. The laser and the Vigoletta matchup, they're set to target hot blocks. Now, I don't think we have any heat decoys here, which can be a good idea to not make your engines be the first thing to die. If you have a lot of shields, of course, the laser and Vigoletta matchup will target the shield projectors usually too, because they are really hot as well. However, that might be a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing if you have shields all over the place, like it's shields everywhere. It can be a really bad thing if you have only shields where you have some really important blocks. There we got another one of those there. So you can see we have a lot of piping going on there. That means that the systems get shot down a little bit quicker due to all of that. Well, the lag is a bit there, but you can see the Honored Baguette is at 88%. And the Gimle is down to 95. I really think it seems to be doing a lot better this time. You can see they're really sandblasting through here. Now, the thing that would be really useful for the Baguette is that all of the AI cores didn't aim at different locations. It would actually be beneficial if they all aimed at the same location. Then it could probably, especially if it's set up to target hot blocks, be able to grind down the shields, engines, and stuff like that in a pretty efficient way. The turret that Hitman set up is actually a pretty good turret if you match it with sabot shells. Railgun sabot shells, it's a classic. Rail assist sabot is a classic sandblaster setup. So what he essentially tried to do is have a really spread out type of sandblaster setup. And that is a well-tested and useful build. I'm actually working on a battleship right now, or I started it 2 months ago. I just haven't. Give me a break, okay? I have it in my folder. Some of you have seen it on stream, but yeah, that is going to be a spread out type of a ship that is relying on sandblasters. Now it's going to be very min-maxed, so it's not going to be rail assist sandblasters. It's going to be pretty slow gunpowder only sandblasters, as people have done some calculations, and apparently it is more efficient to use only gunpowder and not rely anything on rail. Now, I think rail assisted guns are pretty cool. You know that because of the well, Arquebalista Invictus. I like this gun so much. It looks absolutely stupid. It breaks almost all rules of how you should build a turret, and it's very specialized and not very cost efficient. The thing with it though is that it's really good to basically kill people who are lacking in redundancy. So it's not a very nice type of shell really. Look, it's pretty funny. They have a similar shell now. Anyways, it's not a very nice type of shell because honestly, it's a little bit of a, to say, noob clobber, so to say. If anyone gets a ship that is lacking redundancy, and this is something the Baguette does pretty good, it has some redundancy going on there, but a lot of people have lacking redundancy, so they might have all the ammo in one place, all the maybe the AI only in one place, but a really big one, or they might have all the batteries in one place, all the fuel in one place, you know, stuff like that. And when people have that type of setup, well, the Arquebalista Invictus can essentially gimp them in one shot. Yeah, that's what's funny with it. But it's also a little bit, you know, you probably get what I mean with noob clobber. The Arquebalista Invictus was very helpful for the Gimle when defeating the Yamato one by Martincitopants. Because obviously he put a lot of these systems in one place, which we are changing, of course, in the upgrade/rescue the Yamato series. So we already moved around the battery system and stuff like that. But you can see the Honored Baguette loses this battle as well, but you can see the damage it dealt is significantly better. Just to confirm, however, I do want to pitch the Baguette versus the Baguette Sabot. So we can just confirm if my theory I just talked about for 20 minutes or whatever is true. So for this little battle, we're gonna have the Honored Baguette with an angle of -90 degrees. And we're gonna have the Honored Baguette without Sabot with an angle of 90 degrees, right? Lighter team. So I think this should be set up correctly now, because now they will basically not they will basically ride side by side and not drift very far from each other. I think in 1000 meter they should just ride along beside each other, and because they're closer, it will be a little bit more similar to like that Hitman's game rules that allows a lot of shells, because the shells will not be able to exist in the air for so long that they won't despawn essentially. Well, now we're gonna wait for like 3 minutes for this to even spawn. Right, I'm not exactly sure why, but it seems that it's the other way around. It should be 90 degrees. So now they are indeed riding, yeah. Looks like one of the Baguettes is trying to escape from the other as well. What? Wait, what? Oh, they were targeting each other's drones first. That's why they dealt no damage. I thought that it almost didn't like spawn or something. Like the shells actually despawn before they hit a target. I guess we can like reach... No, they're alive and well for a long time, so it's not that. But what's the game speed right now? It's like half speed. It's a little bit laggy. Well, that's a lot of shells in the air. It's probably one of the reasons you might not want to buff that allowed shells in the air at the same time limit. Because it, you know, can cause some issues. Now I already forgot which is which. These shells are getting to the one here. And these are the Sabot ones. Okay, so the Baguette we are having in front of us is the original hollow point Baguette. So so far it looks like my theory holds up. The Honored Baguette with Sabot heads instead of hollow point heads is in the lead with about 5% already, which is really good and important early in battle. We're dealing some pretty effective damage here. You can see those Sabot shells are nasty, dealing a lot of damage. Well, I think perhaps we should follow one of the hollow point shells here and see how the... you can see the blocks are being destroyed a little bit slower. The one advantage with the hollow point shells is that no matter the angle, they will always deal full damage. But usually I wouldn't use hollow point for 100 millimeters and under. Honestly, I probably only use hollow points for maybe like 300 millimeter shells and up, because that's where we're starting to see it taking out chunks of the armor. The Mark II upgrades of the Gimle that will be presented and done. Of course, it will not participate in any of the Gimle battles we have lined up. That's all the regular Gimle. But for the upgrades, which I want to make, learning from all of the battles we had, one of the Arcoballistas is actually going to be a hollow point, because I just tested it for fun, and while it's not an optimal setup, it can really bite super hard for armor designs that are a little bit intentionally narrow or like light, that can actually beat off big chunks, meaning that the laser and other systems like the Vigoletta marksman can get into the core and really grind away much faster. So that's something I want to try to see if that works. Wow, look at that. The Honored Baguette with the sabot is not a little bit better. It's a lot better. 96% here versus the Honored Baguette default setup we're looking at here at 74%. Poor thing. It's gonna die. Well, is it just me, or are these guns a little bit all over the place here? Ooh! Look at that! The original Honored Baguette is sinking. The sabot Baguette is at 96.7%. And this is why it can be so important to choose the right shell for the guns. It really matters. It matters a lot. One thing I think you should do, that Hitman, you should totally have a little tournament with the Baguettes, where you kind of have one heavy head version, you have like a hollow point, the original version, you have a sabot version, and Hesh version. Yep, and I think you should have a pure frag version too, because frag can be surprising. Yeah, so I think you should totally try that and see which shell is the winning Baguette design. All right, you know what? I think it would be interesting to see basically how many Baguettes does it take to kill the Gimle. Now, I don't know if I can spawn in too many of them, because one of them are causing some stutters, but it would be fun to see. And I guess I should stick to the hollow point Baguette, but I feel like I want some sabot Baguettes in there too, because I feel a little bit bad for the hollow point Baguette. It's not able to bite very hard. I mean, I guess you shouldn't be expected that a Baguette will bite hard, because you usually bite it. Maybe the name Baguette is somewhat unlucky. It can be that too. You know, a thing that's meant to be eaten. Oh man, can we take 3 Baguettes? The Honored Baguette, the Honored Baguette Sabot, and the Honored Baguette. Well, I don't know, maybe my PC crashes? If the video ends now, you know why then. Ladies and gentlemen, this looks truly epic. We have a glorious game speed of almost half speed, which is, well... Now we may get into an interesting problem though. Will the Baguettes shells reach the Gimle? Or will they fire so fast? Oh, that looked like some civs action, didn't it? Oh, damn. The frame rate ain't great. Let's So yeah, that's the thing. I'm not promising to finish this battle. It may be... oh god, this is real bad lag. Well. Oh well. So, I'm wondering if these shells reach here or not. It seems a little bit unknown. Because they are firing, right? All the drones are offline. Oh yeah, we're firing. Alright. So, we obviously should lock on to some random shell. And you don't see the trails, that's why it's so hard to even see them. Do we have the hollow point ones? Oh no. Oh, we almost get... Okay, we're gonna fly a little bit with this one. Nope. Maybe here. And then we can watch in the air here and see. Ah, they despawn around here. Ah, there we have it. So here we have like the... Man, when we have... Oh god damn it. When we have these many baguettes, the shells reach like 500 meter-ish. Are they shooting at this cram though? I think I saw in Hitman's video that they shot at cram shells. I selected the upgraded version of the baguette at least. It's a little bit hard to tell. The shells are a little bit unstable. I wonder if they have... Yeah, I wonder if they have enough recoil absorbers. I didn't check that, honestly. I hardly think that a Vigoletta marksman reaches anywhere either. We can actually check. I'm just gonna need to find a... Just need to find a shell. Oh, there we had one. No! It's impossible to lock on. What am I locked onto now? Well, that's a baguette shot. Oh well. Well, they can't reach realistically. That wouldn't make any sense. We can actually see... Well, at least then, I think that, yeah, it doesn't reach very far. At least then, that Hitman doesn't need to care about the Vigolettas or the Arqueballista Invictuses. It's probably only the cram shells then that are actually alive here. And the laser. Well, one baguette is getting into some close combat action. And it has started to deal a lot of damage against the Gimle. And I suspect that even if I up the like APS cannon shell limit to the max, I'm not sure I could run that battle. I think it might be a little bit too many shells for us to run that. I don't know though, but yeah, I'm gonna stick to my stock rules in the game. I'm thinking they're probably there for a reason, so... Now this poor thing is of course also now getting targeted by the Gimle's APS shells, since that it can reach the Gimle means that the Gimle's APS shells can reach it too. So yeah, some portions of the battle may be edited away, because I think this battle is gonna take a long time. It's been 2 minutes and 12 seconds in game, because the game speed is around half speed right now due to all this lag. Yeah, it's really sad that water pumps are causing this much lag. You know, if we add a single water pump to the Gimle, it needs to use 100,000 power less to just stay at the aesthetically pleasing level that it's set to stay at. Just staying at the like floatiness altitude of just around the waterline of the what is it called, anti-fouling paint, that red stuff. Just making sure that the red stuff is just underwater and the other stuff is above water makes the Gimle spend 100,000 engine power on. it's pretty insane. And the annoying thing is that I thought that, oh, I'm gonna be real smart. I'm gonna have a water pump inside the Gimle, and it's only gonna be activated when the Gimle is not in combat, because then it won't cause lag. So I added that, made some ACBs, turning them like disabling or enabling it whenever the Gimle was in combat or not. It turns out that the presence of a water pump, if it's activated or not, doesn't matter. It still causes stuttering. It doesn't stop doing the calculations really, even though. Yeah, so that was quite annoying, so I couldn't even add that. So yeah, if we are going to have the Gimle in the Nether campaign, well, I guess it will just cost a lot of material existing then. I guess that's fine. Right, so the Gimle is at 98% and the Baguettes are at 87 and one is at 83, which happens to be the Sabot Baguette. Bad for the Sabot Baguette, because the Sabot Baguette is the strongest biter of them all. I wonder if we will get some baguette bisection action. I guess we'll see. I don't think so, because the laser is set up to not shoot at things underwater, because obviously lasers don't do very well underwater. Yeah, so probably we're not going to see any baguette section, but yeah, it would be a little bit fun. That has to be said. Ooh. I like how this baguette is just straight out trying to escape. Ooh. And it's being targeted with a auxiliary laser system. Now, due to the laser being a vulnerable part, like the laser cannon output, the Gimle doesn't have super resistant lasers like that. It really doesn't, but it has 3 outputs, 2 turrets and a side port, so they can switch a little bit, target like this. Wonder what it shoots at. It's like it thinks that the Baguette may be here. Who knows? I'm going to think that the Baguettes may start to escape the bounce. I don't know if they have a max range set up, but if it goes too far away, it will of course start gaining DQ points, which will mean they will just spawn. Well, we have some more laser action here. I don't think 3 Baguettes will take down the Gimle, unfortunately. And unfortunately, I don't think I can have 4 Baguettes. It already stutters a little bit too much, and our game speed, like, my computer is a little bit not satisfied with this amount of Baguettes on the menu today. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, but I don't think we can have a 4 Baguette battle. It just, yeah, I'll need a NASA spaceship computer for that. I'll guess one of the Gmodists with very nice computers that have helped us record some stuff before, Susu, Kobrax, could perhaps help us and do some test battle recordings possibly on how many baguettes we can have to take down Gimle. But if any of you have the time to do so, you can report for service. If you don't, well, then we are not going to have that test done. And that's fine too. Oh no! Look at this thing! Look at this thing! It's gotten a couple of those gauge increases destroyed, so now it fires at a lower caliber, I think. I must say that the turn rate for the baguettes is actually surprisingly fast considering how long this is. Now, I do believe this is the small array of hydrofoils here in the front that is helping out with this, but yeah. Well, all the baguettes are down to about 78% there. The laser is of course switching targets all over the place here. From previous battles, I do think that the Gimle will definitely probably take this home. Yeah, most likely. I think the issue for the baguette roll here is that it deals too little damage, and then the laser and APS systems, they're set up to target above water, and above water the baguette basically has unarmored turrets, and this obviously makes it so that, well, the turrets get shot down pretty quickly, which means that its ability to deal damage is of course not a lot. Now, is it just me, or are the baguettes running away? It feels like, it looks like they're running away and that the Gimle is trying to chase them. They're starting to get really far away. Like, seriously, aren't they gonna reach that penalty points range anytime soon? I would expect, but I guess we'll see. The Hall of Feasts. I like this little locking on mode. We can use the lock on mode with the camera here for the battles. We can't use the other cameras. No, seems not. It's only the lock on camera. Oh well. Oh damn, sorry. You're not meant to do that, I think. Right. 73, 70, 75. Yeah. The Gimle hasn't taken any damage for quite some time here, it feels like. The baguettes are running away, so we'll see. I think if you really want to have this type of like really maxed RPM DPS setup, it's probably smart to make the ship be a little bit set up to have close combat, because then less shells would despawn. I think actually it could be a pretty good idea. Yeah. So here is some suggestion. If you want to make a close range baguette, I would make that baguette a hydrofoil, so it gets real fast. Swap to some sandblaster shells like Sabot, and swap out half of those turrets with flamers, and I think would have a flame in a very scary baguette actually. One of the honored baguettes is the funny number 69%. Another baguette has reached the funny number 69% health. I think it's pretty hilarious that the strongest point of the baguette is actually its aesthetical quality. It's so unexpected, since the videos I've seen from that Hitman is more about like finding ways to optimize and deal a lot of damage while spending very little materials, like that pole arm ram system. That I think that was the first thing that came up that I thought was really funny. So I didn't expect the Baguette to be a work of art with like full walkable interiors, a lot of decoration, and like, yeah, I didn't know that Hitman was basically a like realism detail mimic builder. That was a little bit unexpected, but a very nice surprise. And I love that they're color coded too, like the areas. That's a very nice touch. I would definitely want to see a like ship from that Hitman that's basically his best efforts of making a awesome looking battleship that's meant to be really awesome looking only, and not like very efficient necessarily. But like, it's cool if it's that too, but when you're focusing on making things look aesthetically, you can have a lot more creative freedom. Like, maybe you need to have thinner armor to be able to have a lot of interior compartments and stuff like that. Because the interior compartments in the Baguette, they're actually great. Well, some health is getting lower there, so we'll see how this battle develops, but the Gimle is still at 96%. You can see the Gimle slicing by here. Its armor being a little bit sad on the side here. Look at those stutters, man. Man, finally, we're going to see what it leads. We're on the Arquebalista shell, of course. Finally able to catch one. I want to see if they even hit something, like if they despawn or not, because now the Baguettes are almost... now the Baguettes are pretty damaged, so I think that means that shells will despawn a little bit less frequently. Well, that continues there. I think the RPM in the air is a lot lower than it usually is. Oh, damn. We have a sinking Baguette. One Baguette is officially dying. It's despawning as we speak. Now, this Baguette ain't looking extremely happy either. Right now, it seems to not really exist a very happy Baguette, to be honest. This one has no turrets anymore. No. Yeah, it's probably despawning any second too. You know what, I think we can conclude here that 3 Baguettes are not able to beat the Gimle. At least not when we have the default game projectile limit and use the Gimle's standard battle rules. For unofficial battles, of course, because the Baguette... one Baguette is a little bit too expensive, and it has some blocks and stuff that the Gimle official battles don't allow. But with those rules, we can say that the Baguette can't win it. It seems it will not be able to do it. But perhaps with a couple of fixes and polishes to it, it might be able to do that. I think it has the potential to be a lot stronger, as you saw with my little example of swapping out the hollow point with a sabot shell. Ironically enough, the sabot Baguette is the first one to die, so make with that what you will. Just got in here a little bit in designer mode just to check, and we can see here that the recoil is about 15,000 per second. But the absorption is about 6,000 per second, which means that after firing a few rounds, like a couple of seconds, this will then not be very accurate anymore. So that is as suspected. It has some accuracy problems there. We're also using base bleeders. If you don't have enough recoil absorption, you can always switch to a tracer rear instead, a visible tracer, and you'll mitigate that problem a lot. So that's another little recommendation there to improve the Baguette's performance. Now it is a little bit hard when taking a gun and making it into a rail assist gun, because as explained in my actually pretty recent APS tutorial. So I recommend anyone to check that out to get a little bit sharper with APS. It will explain everything from the different types of rounds, regular APS gunpowder, rail assist and pure rail. So I highly recommend that. But in any case, when you're making a gun and then adding rail, you'll increase the recoil as well. Because of course, adding those railgun parts, accelerating the shell, using electromagnetic magnets, like propelling it a little bit, will naturally introduce more recoil because you're using more force to make that shell go out of the barrel. So that's something that can be easy to forget if you take a turret and upgrade it to rail assist. So it can be smart to add that. In any case, it was really cool to take a good look at a Baguette. I did enjoy checking it out. And well, now we have finally seen the full battle just for fun there. Unfortunately, I don't think my computer can handle such a high RPM limit. But to be fair to all of the other submissions, official or unofficial, I keep my game rules at the same as usual, just because then we can measure the results in between them a little bit easier, like that. Also, my frame rate thanks me. Thanks a lot for watching. Cool to check it out, and well, I hope some of those tips can help you, Hitman, to upgrade the Baguette a little bit, and hopefully to anyone else watching that might be a little bit new to APS details. And even though it is a basic tutorial, the APS tutorial I made recently covers a lot of those details, because it is so much better than all my previous APS tutorials. So please save me the embarrassment and watch my newest APS tutorial, and you'll get a lot of important details in a very effective format. So that can be smart. Anyways, check out the Relaxism and Gmodist channel. They still need support subscribers for me to be able to monetize them, which would be nice, so YouTube don't steal all the money. They're probably making like some dollar, but you know, I want that some dollar to be my dollar, not Google's dollar. Well, in any case, this is your host Eric of Gmodism. We're signing out. I'll see you next time.